Good morning, y'all, and happy Monday. Happy December 2nd. Y'all, it's December already. Can you believe it? It feels like the year has flown by so quickly, and already here we are getting ready to enter a new year, 2025. Now, I remember when it was the year 2000, that whole Y2K thing, and everybody was talking about how the world was going to end. Those were good times. But 2025, man, counted a blessing to see it. So, good morning. I realized that this is quite different for what I usually do. So, what I'm doing actually is testing Streamyard this morning to see if it works, kind of playing around with it a little bit and just trying to customize it to my own personal brand. So, if you're catching this on the replay, please leave me a comment and let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm just trying to see how this whole thing works. Remember to thumbs up the live so I can get pushed out into the algorithm a little bit. Hey, Deborah Ray, good to see you. I'm trying something new here. It's gonna take me a while to get this software under my feet, maybe or maybe not. But I think it's a good way to go for me when I just want to get on here and talk and not really have to put on a full show for the people. So I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. And I thought about doing some audio uploads for December, kind of some life coach motivational uplifting things. And for those, I just wanted to be able to do it and upload it. And then also sometimes do it in a live format. So this morning is just really a test and just a quick note to people to as they reflect on this year and all that has happened. A lot of it is a kind of what's done is done thing, and more so moving forward on that. And just to give ourselves grace as we navigate this last this last month of the year. You got your coffee? I got my coffee too. I've had one cup, so I'm on cup number 2. But yeah, just to give ourselves grace and to understand that things don't happen in our time, and to just be patient and sometimes be still, because I've been on social media for as long as I can remember on different platforms. And there's always the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. What's hot now? What's trendy now? What platform is moving forward now? And sometimes we can get caught up in the who all is doing what and trying to be in competition. But I think we have to remember that each journey is our own. And that's all we have is our own journey. And if we taint that with trying to be like somebody else, then you really miss out on what's for you. And I firmly believe that a lot of people are live by this whole what is for me will not pass me by. And it most certainly will pass you by if you in somebody else's lane. If you trying to ride in somebody else's car, what's for you is definitely going to pass you by in the other lane. So we have what, 30 days left to go in this year? 29. And I feel like we got to make the best of it. And that includes reflecting on what has happened this past year. And then there's a difference between reflecting and worrying and actually taking yourself back to a place and reliving things. So reflection definitely does not mean reliving. Reflection means just that, looking back and seeing what you learned. Is there a lesson in that? And if the answer is no, then you most certainly have not understood the lesson yet. Deborah Ray said, I'm laughing because if we try to be like someone else, then we miss out on who we actually are. Absolutely. And I think, Deborah Ray, I think some people are actually afraid of who they are. When you look at who you actually are, you start to see imperfections. You start to see things that you may not be so proud of. You start to see things that kind of make you worry. And then that's where we switch from, reflecting on a situation. So switching from reflection to introspection. And that's like looking within. Introspection is looking within, seeing what part we played in a particular situation, checking ourselves out. It's almost like inverting yourself, folding yourself inside out and actually taking a look to see, man, what are the areas that I can work on? What are some things that I can do a little bit better? So for me, I tend to do that on a daily basis. At the end of the day, I try. It doesn't always happen because, sometimes I'm just busy and exhausted. But for the most part, I try to sit and reflect on the day, reflect on the week, reflect on the month, do what I need to do mentally within myself, and then keep it moving. I try not to hold on to grudges. I try not to constantly relive situations. It's kind of one of those things where you are in a situation, you get through it, you look back on it, and then you move on. And every now and then, if you need to revisit that, you do. Some people tend to sit and wallow in stuff. And I don't see what the benefit of that is. I don't see how that benefits anybody. Definitely mentally. People tend to run sometimes because that stuff is scary. If you think about looking at you, nobody wants to be put out on Front Street as having imperfections or having things that they can work on. I'm not necessarily going to say things that are wrong because society's definition of what's wrong may not always be your individual definition. I'm the type of person that as long as you are operating with good morals, good ethics, and when I say good, it's like some things are just common sense. It's some things just don't need an explanation as to, this is bad ethically and morally. But as long as you're operating with decent morals, character, and ethics, I'm good. But sometimes people have mental blocks where they can't see anything that they've done wrong, and it's always put off on somebody else. Those are the types of folks that I personally think are afraid to actually, if they're running from something, there's some fear there. There's something that they don't want to discover or bring to the surface about themselves. Like they know it's there already. They just don't want it to bubble up to the surface because then they have to deal with it. In dealing with things about ourselves that we know are unfavorable is hard work because now we feel exposed. Oh, they found out this. Oh, they found out that. I think we sometimes forget about the bigger picture, and that is we each individually get one life to live. One. And once the curtain closes, that's it. I live by that. I reflect on that every single day. It's like, strive to be better today than you were yesterday, because you only get one time at this. One time. And if you allow your life to be tainted by competition, what somebody else has to say, and living living terribly when you know you can do so much better, that you're taking the easy way out and just making choices because it's convenient, and nobody's going to call you on it. There's no support system. Like, that's an issue. So for December, I know people tend to reflect on the year and try to come up with this strategy of things that they're going to do. I really would like to meet, and I'm sure there are people out there, but I would like to meet and hear from people who have made a resolution, because we are all so familiar with New Year's resolutions, and those resolutions have actually stuck all year long. I would really like to hear that and know if that's the case for anybody. And if so, how did you get the resolution to stick all year long? I feel like a better strategy would be to identify areas, and I'm talking personal wellness here, identify areas we want to work on, and then day by day, just integrate things to make that happen. Integrate small acts, small thoughts to get to the point we want to get to. And then all the while remembering that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So these things continuously take effort. And once you reach one point, then it's time to celebrate that and then elevate a little bit higher. So it's interesting seeing people's I guess their sort of method for bettering themselves in whatever facet of their life they're considering. Some people want to do better with parenting. I mean, quite a few groups on different social media platforms where questions come in about parents losing their cool with their kids, parents um, feeling like their children aren't listening and thinking that they're doing something wrong. And, I think personally as a parent, if you um, aren't second guessing yourself at some point, then what are you even doing, right? Because that's reflection. And so I think I'm going to dedicate a series to that at some point and just kind of share my experience and some strategies that have worked for me. I've taken a different parenting approach than my parents did. And as grandparents, they're now on board with my parenting. So I have support in that way. And I realize that's not everyone's reality, but for sure, support definitely matters when parenting. So some people are trying to reflect on jobs and career changes, and I've been there, not necessarily a career change, but definitely a job change and a career add-on as a life coach, getting the certification. I did that back in back during the pandemic, because there was so many folks distraught about things that were going on. And even before that, I would get confirmation from people along the way throughout the years telling me I miss my calling as a counselor, I miss my calling as a therapist, I miss my calling as this, that, and the other. So once I told people I got certified as a life coach, they were like, well, it's about time. It's about time. So, I've done a career add-on, I should say. And then just relationships with, significant others, family relationships, friend relationships. There's a lot to consider. Life can be heavy sometimes, but I feel like it's all in how you perceive things that are happening. And for me, I am a pretty good, I'm looking for the word here. I'm a pretty good perspective, um, not spinner, but I do a really good job of having folks see the other perspective or see another perspective. Because sometimes we can get tunnel vision and we think that our way is the only way or our view is the only view. And that could not be farther from the truth. And I've learned over the years that if you approach people in a conversational tone, trying to get them to not necessarily understand your perspective, because that's not going to happen unless people have an open mind about things, but trying to get them to understand that more than just the way they think about something exists. And once you can understand, receive, and accept that fact, you don't have to understand their perspective. Just understand that they have a different perspective from you and you can move on from there. So, folks get stuck in their ways sometimes, and it's difficult to move past that. So, whatever it is that you are trying to reflect on and overcome this December so that you can start fresh in 2025, go for it. It's your right. Your feelings about things are valid. I have to be honest, TVLD. That's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much, Deborah Ray, for coming in. Catch the replay. Yeah, go. I know if I get my my notification from you know who, I'm rolling too. Thank you for sitting on here listening to me blab pretty much about whatever. I'm going to do some audio uploads for some of this stuff, but I really want to know that StreamYard is working here. So I'm going to go back and listen to this and make sure the audio is good on it. I'm going to publish it anyway, but yes, please come catch the replay. I'm almost done. So yeah, my purpose for this live was definitely to just come on and test StreamYard to make sure it was working, make sure the volume is good, make sure I didn't have too many pops in my words. So testing this equipment that I'm using as well. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will, because I'm dealing with my GD kids. It's a handful for me, but I'm going to discipline them to the to the fullest. I understand you have to do what works for you. And I'm not sure how old they are. A different approach, especially in this day and time, may be necessary. However, they may be so set in their ways that, you know, it's going to take a little extra. But yeah. Hey, Mo. Thanks for stopping in. I am just testing StreamYard on here blabbing. I'm thinking about doing some video uploads. So I'm like, if I'm going to test StreamYard and actually talk, I might as well just open it up and have it public. 10 on down to 8 months. Oh, you can work with that, Deborah Ray. You can work with that. Blessings to you. And I really, really hope that things work out for you. So yeah, if you happen to be in the in the market for change, or if you're just doing some inner work, some inner thinking, some reflecting on this year, and you are trying to figure out how to move forward. My unsolicited advice would be to not look at anything else in the situation except for you, because that's pretty much all you can control. Your response, how you acted to it. Thank you, Mo. Your response and how you acted to it. So I'm gonna hop off here as well, so I can get to working on my real work. This isn't real work yet. We'll see in the next few years what it ends up materializing into. Remember to give yourself lots and lots of grace, because you are one person in a world full of everybody else. So your reactions, your words, your actions definitely are on you. Remember to be patient and remember to be still sometimes, and just sit and think. Nothing in your hand, nothing coming through your ears, just sitting, some deep breaths, and clearing your mind. So I may come back for lunch to fix some food, but maybe not. We will see. If you're just coming in, please catch the replay. I do a whole lot of blabbing, but there may be something in there that's good for you. And I will see you all. Well, not see you all. I'll talk to you all next time. Have a wonderful day. Toodles.